I think a lot of people are really fearful and they're afraid of failing. I mean, I feel that way all the time.
Same.
And they don't do it. So they're like, okay, I'll do it next year. I'll do it later. But I kind of know for myself, if I just get like that like inkling of an urge to just do something, I have to jump on that at that moment. Otherwise, I'm going to overthink it and it will never happen.
Knock him out the box, Rick. Knock him out, Rick. Knock him out the box.
Just tell me who you are and what's your story, as if we just met at an event. And then I don't have all the background too to like judge you with, or you know, reading articles. I don't really want to know that. I want to know what you want to tell us about yourself, and I'm going to facilitate that.
Yes. Okay. So my name is Naomi Cheyanne. I'm an independent singer-songwriter. I'm a twin. I love music. I love making music. I recently started producing music. I love acting as well. So I started out doing acting, but I've always been writing songs since I was probably like 9 years old. And now I decided after I graduated from college and did the whole thing, and I was like, you know what? I don't think I could do a 9-to-5. I'm going to just pursue my dream. So I was looking up a bunch of people to work with. I found my boyfriend, Daniel Robert, and he's my producer, my engineer. And we came out with an EP 2 months ago called In My Home.
First EP?
First EP ever. We did.
And you're a power couple that we'll come
We're
back to.
We're a power couple.
Let's not talk about him yet, but I feel that energy for sure. And honestly, having someone that's like aligned with you that can handle the technical side or whatever.
Well, he can handle it all.
Of course, we all can. Well, not all of us, but a lot of us can. But still, when you can do what you do best,
we
with a good partner, that's
complement
huge.
each other. Nice. Yeah.
Yes.
So I started out writing songs when I was really young. I did musical theater for a long time. I did a few projects myself. So I first released my first song in 2018. It was like a little song I performed on my phone. Like I recorded on my phone with my Apple headphones back then. And I released it on this site that's not there anymore. I miss it, but it was called Alley-Oopa. And it kind of went viral on that site. And I had like a little fan base. I was like, okay, you know what? I could do this. And then I found some producers and released another song. And after that, I'm like, okay, I'm going to really try to go full force on this. And that's kind of what happened. So that's what I've been pursuing since after college, which I graduated in 2019, Cal State Long Beach. If anyone knows that school.
I grew up next to Long Beach. I took a few classes there, but I was Cal State Fullerton.
Cal State
right
Fullerton,
next door.
okay.
Yeah, Cal States.
Yeah, exactly. And I actually was born in Long Beach. So born and raised partially, then grew up in Antelope Valley. That's how I met Anahit. And now and I actually was living in Long Beach for the last 6 years and then just moved to downtown LA like last week. So yeah, big change for me.
So this is a huge... It's like I feel like I keep meeting people because all around me are, I feel like, because I think that's where I'm at, are these like waves that are cresting, right? That have been forming all these, because it doesn't happen from nothing. It doesn't just crash.
Yeah.
It forms and collects the right way. And if just the right things are happening in rhythm, then it's like a perfect wave to catch. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like
yeah.
A lot of people I know are feeling that. You're like on that.
Absolutely.
So the downtown move, I'm assuming, is like, all right, let's get serious. Because it's kind of the hub, right? It's the heart of LA right now. For artists, for sure, for money, celebrities, business now. It's about to explode.
I've been meditating on moving there for a long time. And I actually had a conversation with my sister on the phone. I think it was yesterday. And she's like, don't you feel like things are kind of aligning for your life right now? And I'm like, yeah, I think so. But I kind of looked at it more as like, I'm just following my heart. And as I do that, more people around me kind of see that and feel that energy. And things are like working in my favor. So it's just kind of like listening to your intuition and yourself. It's kind of how I see it.
I'm really trying to share that with people that are open to hearing it, because it's so true, yet it's such a difficult thing to, I guess, understand when you're not ready for it. Like I wasn't really ready for that. I didn't understand what following your gut meant, honestly. Like in my 20s, I knew the phrase like, oh, follow your gut. I'm like, yeah, but what does my gut want? I don't know what it wants. Should I buy the that car or not, and I'd get stuck on decisions.
Yeah. No, I'm really lucky in the sense that I'm very impulsive and I'm kind of like a do now or never kind of person.
Right.
Like I bought a car in like 10 minutes.
Right.
Freaked out because I'm like, how can I afford this? What am I going to do? But I made it work. I'm making it work. Same with downtown LA. I'm freaking out living there, but I'm going to make it work. Like, and I've always been kind of like that. I'm the type of person where like I listen to a lot of people's opinions, but at the end of the day, like I'm gonna do what I know is best for me. Yeah.
Because your gut, I have found, as you become more and more experienced, becomes more and more accurate.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you're at like 80% and sometimes you're wrong, you still want to go with the 80% probability.
Yeah.
So always go with your gut.
Yeah. Because you'll regret it later.
Even the decision books say that, by the way, because I read books like to help me make better decisions because I would get stuck. And there's all these great tools, pros and cons lists, and use the decision tree. But at the end, they go, once you do that, go with your gut. Swear to God. That's the last chapter.
Yeah.
Go with your gut. Even if the pros and cons say do it, if you're like, God, I don't know what it is. I don't like that town. Something about that town. I don't want to move there. Mm-hmm. Then your gut knows more than your conscious brain could possibly factor. Mm-hmm. It's all the experiences. It's all the database, like thousands of touch points that you can't possibly factor in at the same time consciously.
That's really reassuring for me because sometimes I feel like I'm not making the right decisions and I'm like second guessing and doubting, which I think is normal, but I'm also just confused.
There's no right and wrong.
Yeah.
If you change your perspective on that, it kind of, because what is right and wrong? It's like a endless, limitless video game. And just real quick, by the way, because I want to add on to what you said, one of the things that a few years ago really helped me in business is I said, what if this was a simulation? And if I did play it like a video game, when you're playing like Mario Brothers or whatever modern video game, you don't have time to like, you know what? I'm going to come back to that. You either fucking jump, duck, or punch, and then look, if you fuck up, just start again. Okay, that didn't work. Let me jump next time.
Right.
You don't have time. So I made myself go, I'm just going to start deciding, unless it requires me to go like get a secret code. I got to go visit a magician, a wizard to get the key. Okay, that's fine. But then do that. Don't sit there going, what should I do? Well, I'll just come back. I'll go back. Time is lapsing.
Yeah.
The video game don't wait for nobody.
Right.
So if you just want to sit there, just know the time is dwindling down.
I think a lot of people are really fearful and they're afraid of failing. I mean, I feel that way all the time.
Same.
And they don't do it. So they're like, okay, I'll do it next year. I'll do it later. But I kind of know for myself, if I just get like that like inkling of an urge to just do something, I have to jump on that at that moment. Otherwise, I'm going to overthink it and it will never happen. To me, I mean, I could be.
There's a famous motivational speaker, female Robbins. I can't remember her first name. But she basically says, decide within 5 seconds. Because if you don't, you're going to let your like conscious brain confuse the shit out of you. Like, what if this happens? What if that? What if they don't like you? What if they say you're stupid? What if you fail? Like, go with your gut within 5 seconds. She's like, I count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I just get up and go.
Yeah.
And then what happens is you learn from doing that. Holy shit, things turn out way better than I expected mostly. Because when I show up, opportunity, like you show up to the party, you show up to the networking event, you meet somebody, you go, wow, I'm glad I showed up. And you do that 10 times, you go, wait a second. It does kind of pay to just act.
Yeah.
And so you do it because it works. So don't doubt that. I don't think you should doubt it.
Yeah.
You're doing the right thing. That's why you're here.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm scared every time I do the podcast, by the way.
Yeah.
Because I always go, what if today I go, I don't know
what to say or ask.
Talk. What if that happened? But then you just got to go, oh, well. I just know not to listen. That's the only thing that's the thing that changed the most. I still get the thoughts.
Yeah.
So don't try to eliminate them. Go, all right. Yeah. I hear you, Mom. All right. I'll be careful.
Yeah. I definitely think I have an advantage because I grew up doing theater and improv and kind of just thinking quick on my feet about things and just doing
it. You got to decide an improv.
Right.
You got to say yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're already up there. You're already committed.
Creative Ani. The other side Ani. Of the Anis. You know? She's like, I just say yes to everything that she wants.
And that's probably why we connected now.
Right.
Yeah. It's really cool.
it's not about saying yes to shit you don't want. That's kind of saying no to yourself. It's about going, God, I really feel like I probably should go, but I don't know. What's the point? Am I really what's going to happen? Nothing's going to happen. If you talk yourself out of it, you're not really doing what you want. You're just listening to fear. That's always going to be there.
But there's a difference between adrenaline and fear, I think.
Right.
It's like you can be scared, but you have all this adrenaline that you have to do it.
Yes.
Otherwise, or you can be really scared to the point where you're just like putting yourself in depression.
Well, you know how they say the thing that scares you the most, do it? That's a good scientific theory behind it. Like, because you get the most adrenaline, that's why you get the most scared. That's why you should jump out of the plane.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I did like a stand-up comedy class, which was my biggest fear, because really I got a lot of adrenaline. It was a huge adrenaline rush. That's why I was so scared, and I'm glad I did it. I did it a few times, and every time it's scary as shit.
Oh, yeah.
I admire that, but that's like building that muscle to know that's a great, dude, that's what it is. It's not that you shouldn't do it. Your fear might just also be a combination of what if something bad, like what if I fall on my face, and all this adrenaline rushing through you and makes you go, oh, I shouldn't do it. No, that's adrenaline talking. That means just get the fuck up there and let your words take over.
Yeah, and trust it. I mean,
trust yourself. You're going to say something.
And
say hello and you're good. I used to, you know what? This is how I got up on stage. Just sharing a tip. For stand-up comedy, I swear, I did work on a routine because I realized I'm not yet at the point where I think I can be fucking Dave Chappelle and just flow with like funny shit like he can, because I'm too nervous. So you got to come up with shit. And then I would say, okay, what's my objective today? To get up on stage, grab a hot mic and say hello. And I made that part. I go, hey, I just had to get up here and say hello. So I already won, motherfuckers. Joke's on you. And they laugh.
Yeah.
And then I go into my bit.
Yeah.
Like I would tell them I'm nervous. Just lean into that shit.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I already said hello, so I'm good. The rest is gravy.
Right. And it's kind of just trusting yourself and your talent too. Like you've obviously thought about doing stand up, and then by the time you get up there, you already know you're ready. Otherwise you wouldn't be up there.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah. I kind of tell myself that with singing and performing. I mean, there's one time where I had a performance and I only had 3 hours to prepare. I had to sing the Star Spangled Banner, had to do a 15-minute set of just songs for like 300 people. And I was like, oh God, there's no way I can do this. Like, I don't even know the Star Spangled Banner like that. I barely ever sing it.
What if I forget it?
What if I forget it? What if my voice cracks? All this stuff. So I was actually at a theater class at that time. And then I drove like an hour home to practice like real quick before the event, find a quick outfit, like do my hair. I was like, okay, I'm going to make up a set. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And I went there, obviously so nervous, especially for Star Spangled Banner, because that's not something you sing every day, you know? Right. And I saw people like on the sides, like having their cameras out because they knew I was nervous just to see like if my voice was going to crack or if I was going to mess up or something. And I didn't. I killed the song. I did the performance really well. And they put their cameras down. They're like, oh, okay. And they like started clapping. But to me, that was just like, okay, see, look it. You know, I trusted my talent. I listened to myself and I got paid for something that was just like last minute. So
you got to trust.
Got to trust yourself.
And that's the other reason I like the simulation like theory that this might be, to give myself a little more courage. Like, it might be a simulation. You're going to feel really silly if you don't do it.
Oh, yeah. You'll feel bad.
You'll be like, fuck.
Like, how do you tell if people are reaching out to you and this is your job? How do you tell them, oh, I can't do it because I'm nervous? Like, you don't say that, obviously, but you don't want to make excuses either, because the next opportunity that comes around may not come around.
That being said, not to put you on the spot, but could you drop a few bars?
Drop a few bars? Sing something?
We could edit this part out and go, oh, well, we didn't ask that. I'm just
we were in the studio last night and we were supposed to record this song, but we didn't. But I really like it, and the verse has been stuck in my head, and it's like,
we won't steal it.
No, don't steal it.
Just saying that on camera.
Don't steal the rights.
Yeah. So you actually, this is your copyright right here, because it's recorded, so you can prove back, hey, we sang that shit first. Don't try to steal that shit. Misunderstood. You know what I'm saying? Stay in your lane, baby. Stay in your lane with the podcast.
Yeah. But I can sing a few bars of it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the intro.
Go. That was
set the mood for the deepness of this song.
The sirens. Okay.
Serious.
So it's called Say the Words, and we wrote it like one random night. So it's like, If I talk back, you don't like that. Say you always listen, but you never did. Silent when you're near me, gotta hear me. Taking shots, oh, you never did. Call me when you're lonely. I know you always need someone. Don't. See? But you just gotta do it.
You just gotta go. I
got
screw
nervous.
up on the podcast all the time, and then show just what I do is I go, it's okay. It's better. Because then people get nervous. Well, she did it perfect.
It's my first podcast.
But they'll get nervous if you do it perfect. I actually like that.
Messed up.
Yeah, that you messed up at the end. Just at the end,
Yeah.
you can keep going. I don't know.
I could do it again.
I think you can kind of, that was amazing, by the way.
Oh,
I was
thank
like
you.
definitely grooving.
Cool.
I personally, for inspirational purposes, like that you messed up at the end, because then
I'm still trying. I'm still learning.
because someone can go, oh, well, because if you did it perfect, they'd say, yeah, but she's all perfect and I would mess up and I'd forget something. So I kind of like that.
Thank you.
And by the way, just the fact that you did it on the spot, I'm not going to call out any names, but not everyone does. And I'm just saying the truth is, if you can't do it on the spot, I'm going to call you out because I'm just going to tell you, like, you should work on that. Like, why? If you're saying you're a singer, you should be able to sing on cue, unless you just don't feel like, you're like, I'm tired. Why are you waking me up at 3 a.m? I'm not your like freaking, entertainment monkey or something. Like, but if you're on a stage, if you've got people, don't you want to connect through your voice, through your message, through your storytelling?
Yeah. Eventually I want to sing that song on stage, but I just thought I'd share it, even though it's not done.
I think I was really, really getting into it. Like, I was feeling the feeling behind it, the passion.
Yeah.
It was very catchy.
Yeah.
So I think let's see what you got when you finish it off.
I'm definitely more of a I resonate and I'm more passionate about the songwriting. I love singing too, but I know I haven't worked as long as on my voice as I have with my writing. So that's something that, obviously I was nervous. I was a little vulnerable doing that. So thank you guys for listening and being an open ear. But I know that's something that I'm working on. So that's why I'm happy to just do it.
And the way you handle adversity is very telling about a person's character. And we got it here on film, unrehearsed. And I'm just saying, if it was all smooth and great, like, I always tell the story of my son who's like, he plays basketball. He's a good shooter. When he would have a bad shooting day during halftime, I go, I want to see this.
Yeah.
I like what's happening. He's like, what do you mean? I'm missing. I go, I want to see what you do at the end of the game when you've been missing.
Yeah, when you lose.
Not when everything's going well for you.
Yeah.
That's how you become indestructible and take advantage of your opportunities. If you have a chance to get a victory, don't be afraid just because something didn't go perfect for you.
Oh, yeah,
You know what
I mean, I a lot of things don't go perfect for me. I'm pretty clumsy. You can ask him.
Right.
I do a lot of things different than other people. So I kind of tend to pay for that kind of mistakes, I guess, later. At least in my head, I do. I wouldn't say mistakes totally, but I would just say they're not the easiest way to do things.
Right.
Yeah.
I do like to call them mistakes from this definition for myself. Like, if I have an objective for the game, like I want to invest my money smart and I don't research and invest it in something I was trying to shortcut, I'll probably say, look, like, I'm glad it happened because obviously I didn't know any better. Now I'm going to learn from that. But I do want to go, that was a mistake. So for the future, I don't invest in that manner because I can invest more effectively. So from that standpoint, it's a mistake, but not like from mistakes are good.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not making mistakes, then you're just doing whatever already works for you.
You learn from your mistakes.
You got to A/B test stuff. When you A/B test, you automatically make one mistake and one better one. So if you can't A/B test, you're not going to be a very good marketer, advertiser, or product developer. You got to be like, hey, which bottle looks better?
You're not going to grow
dress
either.
looks better. Yeah.
Like, if I just sat here and I was like, I'm not going to sing, like, nah, I'm nervous, I haven't rehearsed. Like, I'm going to go on the drive home and think about the whole time, like, why didn't I do it? Like, I would get mad at myself.
Exactly. That's the lesson here, I'm telling you. Plus, you sang beautifully.
Thank you.
I think it's going to be even more impactful the way it all happened. Honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes me happy.
Yeah, for sure. And I want to ask you, like, so what do you want? Like, what is your what do you envision for yourself? I would like to go back to the vulnerabilities and like the more vulnerabilities you can share. I think that's inspirational too. Like, so, but like if you don't know, that's okay too. Right. But what do you want? Do you want to be a famous singer? Do you want to reach people with your voice? Do you want to be a songwriter or both? Or how do you see it happening for yourself?
I want to reach people and connect with people through music, not necessarily my songs. I write a lot of songs. I love writing songs, and any artist can sing. Any artist that likes a song could sing it. I would not mind writing songs for other artists. Obviously, I wouldn't mind being an artist. I love the stage. I love singing. I love all of that, but it's not my goal.
Got it.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, just because I'm just curious, when you write a song, do you know like, oh, that's for my voice versus, oh, that would be great for Rihanna?
Absolutely.
Like
I know the moment the song's over, I'm like, okay, that's probably not a song for me, but someone else could use that song. Yeah. That's
amazing to be able to know. Like, I always wonder, like, how did that songwriter decide, how do they not go, fuck that, that's my motherfucking song?
Yeah.
How do they give away a hit song? But it's because they're like, they have a vision for their song. It's about the story it's telling. It's about connecting with other people to help them, inspire them, make them feel. Yeah. And when you're a true artist, it's not about necessarily singing it unless that's your artistry. Yeah. And even then you want the right song.
Yeah.
You want to do the song you can do best, ideally.
If someone could sing it better and share the message better than I can, let them,
So that's good to know, because that'll open that, like anyone that listens to your message is open to that now. Like, because you want to tell stories through song. Mm-hmm. What's the story you want to tell? Is there a certain message or?
I think right now, like just based off my EP and the songs that I make, a lot of it is just being more vulnerable and understanding and honest with yourself. So just people to have more of a connection to themselves, rather than comparing themselves to someone else. Like, I'm a twin, so I grew up being compared my whole life pretty much. Mm-hmm. Still sometimes to this day, and we live cities apart. So I feel really strongly about that. And
you
it's
guys
really
like
hard.
Identical?
We're fraternal, actually. So that's even like stranger to me, because we're nothing alike. We don't look alike, but people just automatically think twins. Oh, you have to be the same. You have to dress the same and talk the same and all that. But
you guys are opposite.
Complete opposite.
What's her personality? And
she's really outgoing and fun. She was athletic growing up. I tried to be athletic. I wasn't really. She works in finance now, lives in Orange County. Don't do any of that. So we're complete opposite, but we're also like best friends too. So
you complement each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And usually people don't have to be the same to complement. They should have different strengths and weaknesses to where they feel like, oh wow, you're really complimenting my weakness and I'm complimenting your weakness, and vice versa. Yeah,
it's important. And I just want other people to know that, there's other people that are going to be out there that are different and seem better than you in your head, but really like no one's you.
No one's you.
Yeah.
It's something I've been feeling like a mantra on, like meaning, because it's easy to go, oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, like comparing yourself, like, oh, Joe Rogan's so smart and witty. I'll never. And and that's maybe true that I won't be that, but he'll never be me.
Right.
You should give yourself credit.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not a good thing. You might not get ratings. That's fine. But still, no one can do it like you. So you'll never know. No one else is going to come fill your shoes. It's just going to be a whole different thing.
Yeah.
And you're just letting other people do their thing.
Yeah.
But take your place if you feel it. And be willing to fall on your face. That's very important.
Joe Rogan wasn't Joe Rogan in a day.
Exactly.
Probably took him a long time to get there.
And he had to figure himself out.
Yeah.
And all you got to do is follow your nose, like Toucan Sam. Like, you don't really know. Remember, I don't know if you know, that was probably pre your time. There was a bird. There was, Fruit Loops.
Yeah.
Toucan Sam, he would say, follow your nose, and he would find the fruity pebbles.
Or
he didn't really know where it was. It's just, you got to,
Yeah.
I feel like I want to be in music. And then you just go follow your nose and then see what you find.
Well, to me, like, it's not even a feeling of me wanting to be in music. It's more of like, I feel like I've always been this way. As a kid, I've always loved music, and I've always wrote songs and didn't even know what I was talking about. And I would make my whole family.
Take us all the way back.
All the way back?
Tell us the movie. The version. Yeah. Tell us the movie version.
The movie version. Well.
Like the 2-3 page Cliff Notes movie version.
Okay, I can make it kind of quick.
Yeah.
But my dad, he had this camcorder. It's
Okay.
like a VCR tape camera where you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know them well.
I don't know now because technology's changed so much. But he had it, and I was probably like 4 years old, and he'd always
record right onto this film, basically.
Yeah, and he loved filming like me and my siblings, and we were like, welcome back to Diamond Love Show, because we had a guy at the time, a young guy at the time living with us, and his name was Diamond, and he wanted to be like a personality star. So me and my sister were always like in the background, like Diamond Love Show. And I was always doing little performances and singing. And after that, I was like, okay. And then I kind of fell in love with music. And something else too that I think plays a big part in me loving music is my mom. She worked in entertainment industry. She worked with Michael Jackson's family. She worked with Boyz II Men, Babyface. So I grew up going to these events with her. I grew up going to studios with her, and it always felt like a world that I wanted to, be in, but I felt like I couldn't. I always felt like there was a wall there. Like, this is only on the outside. And I think growing up, seeing all that and being around that, it kind of played with my head in a way where I'm like, I'm going to try to get there. I don't know how, but I'm going to do it. So yeah, after I graduated, I decided to. But yeah, amazing. I think all of that kind of tells a story of why I am who I am now, an artist.
So you got a little lucky in that you were in an environment and you had a passion, like a natural, like draw attraction to something that was in your environment, and you had a supportive you had a support around you that some people don't have. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't say totally a support. I mean, as much as my mom tried, she tried to keep us away from the entertainment industry. I've seen her go through a lot. People stealing money, threatening to kill her family, like a lot just from being in the entertainment industry. And
so she tried to keep you guys
keep us away from it.
Protecting you guys.
Right. Like never reveal our name. She said, if you're going to make social media, it's not your real name. Like all of that. So that's why I always felt like there was a wall. Like I couldn't enter that industry.
Did that hurt you or help you think?
I think it hindered me. I don't think it hurt me or helped me. I think it stopped me from kind of going.
But it wasn't like something like my parents would put limits on us like that too. I wouldn't necessarily do that to my kids, knowing now what I know. That doesn't mean I would push them into the entertainment business. I'd be like, you sure you want to do this? All right. If you're willing to work hard, but set boundaries and all that kind of stuff. But
well, I know.
It's protection.
Yeah, they were trying to protect me.
Sure,
exactly. I was just going to say that. So I'm not upset about how I was raised or nothing like that. But I also knew I would be a lot further along if my parents kind of caught on to this a little bit more. Like, oh, wow, Naomi, she's writing songs every day and she's only 8 years old. Like, maybe we should try to put her into, I don't know, songwriting class or with more music friends. But they didn't catch
America's
on to
Got
that.
Talent.
Right. Something. I don't know. They did put me in piano lessons and all that a little bit. But yeah, that's about it.
That's just good takeaway for other people. That's all. I want to help other kids out there that are like, Mom, Dad, see, like, let me do this. Come on, I really want it. You kind of have to, we talk about this in other podcasts, for kids, you got to fight for who you want to be. Don't take no for an answer. If you bug your parents enough, and make a case and boss up, like clean your damn room before they tell you, do the things you need to do beforehand and go, Mom, look, I'm taking care of all my shit. Let me go to this audition. Fine.
Yeah.
Will you stop bothering me then? Instead of, oh, they won't let me go. Look, and I get it's easy to take that like, well, they just don't listen.
Yeah.
Still be an active player in this game. Like you do have more control than you think. And it is your life. You ain't going to be living at your parents' house forever. It's going to go by quicker than you think.
It goes by fast.
And you better have something that you like doing because you're going to be on a very long road to figuring yourself out with bills to pay. Right now, you don't have bills to pay. Figure it out now. Don't wait. Find your obsession and lean into it. Don't wait till you're 18. That's really a mistake.
Yeah.
Like if you're 3 and you like music, let your kids be all into that. If they're obsessed, great. How do we allow them to have a career? Maybe it's the business side, the marketing side, the design side, the singing side, the songwriting side, the event side, whatever. But be with your passion, be with your where you're going to be excited to go to work and create at your highest level.
I think now, finally, after so many years, like my generation is kind of the generation that's not really doing the whole 9 to 5 thing. We're doing the more creative side. So my parents back then, when I was a kid, they weren't thinking like that.
Right.
They weren't thinking like, maybe she can make a career out of this. You know, they were just like, oh, she's cute, having fun, being creative. That's just how she is, you know. But you know, when I have kids, I don't have any kids, but if I see my kid like singing songs or like trying to pick up a guitar at a young age, I'd be like, let's try it, you know.
By the way, and this is just for parents like my age or above, like there is more content being created now than ever in the history of mankind. Mm-hmm. We are automating more and more jobs. Think about it. There's more robotics and AI. So yeah, less jobs, but also more free time for people to be like scrolling on their phone.
Yeah.
And I'm saying so there's a lot more money. If you look at the pie of where money's flowing, even if you're a brand, it's all content creation, storytelling. You could be a storyteller, content creator, making them, and everything has to have music.
Right.
So if you're music, just do music for movies and shorts and for TikToks and for whatever. Yeah. Content is king, like Gary Vee says, but I'm telling you the reasons. It's not just because he says it. It's because people have a lot more free time. Think about how many hours we spend now versus 10 years ago. Because it's part of what you're doing now. You're like trying to connect with people. Mm-hmm. You're creating followers, which turn into sales. So you need to make content.
Yeah.
It's content. So I'm just saying, like, don't think of it as like, I'm pursuing my crazy dreams.
Yeah.
And any business, like let's say you become a mechanic. If you know how to make TikTok videos, guess what?
Oh, yeah.
You're going to make some money fixing cars.
Yeah.
I want to go to that fucking repair shop that's got 120,000 followers and they make these crazy videos and amazing car art or whatever they do.
Yeah.
Lean into the thing you're in. Good, but I'm saying content creation, don't think of it as like you're trying to be Hollywood or an actor.
Oh, yeah.
It is the future. It's like 80% of everything now.
Yeah.
Every brand needs content and no brand knows how to use, most brands don't know how to use Instagram, TikTok yet.
No.
So all these young people out there that love TikTok, don't feel bad about yourself. Start making TikToks for big brands and make money.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're doing. They're trying to be cool, but they don't know what cool is because they're not living and breathing like TikToks and content and friends and what these young consumers want.
Mm-hmm. I definitely think maybe the pandemic, people say, 2020 was a bad year, but I think it was a year where a lot of people realized that they can create content and make a living off of it.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I would have never been this far along in music if it wasn't for that lockdown. I had a job where I was working at a security desk and it was taking a lot of my time. And I was only doing music maybe once in a while. But once I got laid off from that job, I'm like, this is all I'm going to do now is just write songs and make music. So I kind of, honestly, 2020 was one of my best years. And I can say that.
And I'm not saying it didn't come with its difficulties. I'm sure it did for you.
For sure.
It comes with challenge and being uncomfortable and doing new things that you don't know if it's going to work. But for me too, the podcast started in 2020.
Yeah.
Really.
See?
That's when me and Josh got together and I used to also go out a lot to meet people, which I still want to do, but it gave me this 1.5 year reset to sit. We sat in my backyard with my other business partner for like 6 months straight, almost like 4 months solid, but 6 months total, and came up with our brand for our spirits company, for example, all because of the pandemic. Because our other opportunity ended. We're at home. We're like, let's just do this business thing that we keep saying we're going to do. And we keep taking other projects that build our experience. And we got to work together on a couple, but let's just do this. And I'm just saying, like, it was the lockdown that was the opportunity. Although I could have easily said, oh my gosh, I can't go out anymore. I can't see my friends. I want to be around people. I could have easily focused on that and focused on all the negativity.
Yeah.
It's really about you. It's your attitude, because the negative stuff was there in your life too. Oh, but my life is really difficult. I have people tell me that now. They're like, yeah, you don't understand. I'm like, I got 4 fucking kids, an ex-wife. You know what I'm saying? Money's tight as Never before.
Right.
Just because I own like a home, I have nothing else. Like people, no, man. Like, no, you don't understand. It's so hard.
Yeah.
It's about focusing on the opportunities every day and don't look down because you're going to fall. Just keep climbing. And all these people are just right getting to the tippy tip of this mountain.
Yeah.
That we're going to be on for quite a long time, by the way, because you're not getting there because you're going to have like, you're not looking to win the lottery. You've been building for your whole life, really.
Yeah.
So that's how you do it. No one's an overnight success.
No, yeah.
When you're ready for the success, it starts coming. When things start flowing, it's because you became ready for it. They were already there. Opportunities were already there.
Nipsey Hussle said, preparation meets opportunity.
Because the opportunity is already there. It's like you're in the ocean. The waves are always there.
Yeah.
Just because you're not catching waves, that's just because you don't know how to surf. And you're like, I don't know. I'm not ready. You got to take a few hits too.
Yeah, you got to try.
You got to crash a couple times too. And if you're not willing to do that, then you're just going to keep going. Oh, I don't know. The waves never catch me. They always catch other people. Bro,
yeah,
you got to swim,
you can't
motherfucker.
sit there and be like, oh, sorry me. You know?
And you got to train to be able to swim fast enough to catch the damn wave and time it right. And there's a lot to it to be a surfer. I'm not even a surfer. I just like the analogy for life because the waves are already there.
Yeah.
When you ready, that's when experience, and opportunity meet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. It's a good lesson.
Yeah. So going back to what you want to do ultimately, how do you want to like impact, I guess, the world or what's your objective for this game that you're playing, your life?
My objective, I mean, I want to, like you said, and what we were talking about earlier, is doing something that you love to make you happy. I mean, I don't care if I'm like super rich. Obviously, that would be great. But I mean, I'd rather have
more gas for the car.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, I just rather do something that I love. And like right now, I'm not rich or nothing like that, but I do love my life. And I love that I kind of have control over my life to do what I want, that I can do music and I have people that support me. And honestly, I love what I'm doing now and I'll continue doing this. But if I could do it on a bigger scale and make it full time, that's kind of my goal right now.
Right.
For my life,
Yep.
Obviously I would love to be successful in it. And that's what I'm working towards. But, if it doesn't happen, I'll still be writing songs the rest of my life, no matter what. But
that's
going
the key. The key. Like, I think finding your passion and confidence to do it. And then the rest is just details of whatever the journey has to offer for you.
Right.
Nobody can really, I don't think anyone I know can really predict.
Yeah.
And there's no right and wrong.
Yeah.
That's what's exciting about it. It's like, you don't really know. It might be predestined, but you don't know.
Yeah.
So enjoy the ride, whatever it is. Make the best decisions you can. You know what I mean?
And you kind of have to go back and look at what you want for your life too. Like during the pandemic, I was sitting in my room and me and him, we weren't dating at the time, but I just remember texting him, like, I haven't talked to him in months, really. And I was like, hey, I have the song that I made. What do you think of it? Are you still in the studio? Like, can I come by? And this was during the pandemic, so I expected like a no. But he's like, yeah, we can go this day and work on the song. And then from that, we just like started going to the studio every week together. And we wrote an EP, and now I have my first EP out. So it's just kind of all of asking the world for something. Because
and
you
reaching out. That's the key.
Right. And not being afraid to do it.
You showed up by reaching out, following your instinct. Did you know you liked him in that way? Or you thought there was just like some kind of chemistry there in general?
I was really, I would say I played it really safe and professional. I was like, he's my producer. I don't like him, no way, But obviously, like, I was really charmed by him. But I always kind of had a wall up in a way where I'm like, nah, this is business only.
Right.
And
how long did it take to combine the business and personal? Just curious. I'll tell you why. I'm not trying to be nosy.
Yeah, I'd say it took about a year. But we had the lockdown, so we weren't with each other for like half the year. But
that's kind of cool though, man, because it allowed you to build like a deeper connection built on like mutual respect, able to work together on like a long-term project.
Yeah. We became really good friends first.
Right.
So that was important. And even
Right.
the night where we went out for the first time, besides the studio, I told him, I was like, listen, you know, this can't come between the music if we get together. And that was the first conversation we had because we met through music first. It's just going to be that, you know,
Right.
Because you can get lost in a relationship. Like we find ourselves, you know, like, oh, we should work on music. And then we don't because we're just like having a good time hanging out together. But
Right.
then we'll eventually, you know, go in and do it. But yeah, we were
set the boundaries and evolve together.
Mm-hmm.
In my experience.
Yeah.
How long you guys been together now?
It's gonna be a year in November.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So we're still
but working together for two.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
So
still that first, you know, phase, but the fact that you
Right.
guys are able to work together and like that's pretty.
Yeah.
That could be so powerful. Like I said, like the power couple thing is real.
Yeah. I mean,
you have a partner that can support you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times that's not the case. I know a lot of couples that don't support each other.
Yeah.
I don't want to call them out by name, but I'm happy to talk to them if they ever want to come on the show and help them out because I feel like it's unfortunate because then you don't get the full version of the person. They resent you anyway in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
Same for the other person because it's two ways. Like he's doing what he loves too. So it's like it just happens to be this great like puzzle fit.
If someone doesn't support you, you shouldn't be with them.
Exactly.
And even in friendships.
Right.
I'm learning that. Yeah.
It's kind of the key, honestly. And like I had a hard time with this. You can still love people from a distance, right? Mm-hmm. You don't have to decide, do I love them or not? You can say, you know what? I actually do love you. Just don't want to be around you.
Yeah.
Right now. Maybe if you had a different attitude.
Yeah.
Like in 5 years, come back.
Yeah. Because
seriously,
they'll hinder your growth.
Yeah.
And what you want.
Yeah. And then you got to spend your energy on that.
Right.
And they can go they can connect with other people on that wavelength where they can enjoy each other's company more, talking about whatever they want to talk about. Whereas you're trying to like solve problems. Some people like to talk about problems. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I don't want to talk about. I want to solve. And it's like it's frustrating when you're around people where you're like, well, hey, how about when they go, no, like that's not going to work, and they just want to talk about the problem.
Yeah.
And there's never a solution.
Or it's just always about them.
Right.
You know, it's always like, well, I'm doing this. Can you help me with this? Can you? And then when you're like, can you help me with this? They're like, yes, but if you do this, this, and this, and this, it's like, okay, well, like I genuinely help you and I don't ask for anything. Right. And then every time I want help from you, you tell me that you want me to do a million things. So,
well, I always say, and I'm going to say it again because it's so important and because I want you guys to be successful. Mm-hmm. I think your number one job, actually, because you already have the talent and passion to get to where you want to go and get the gas in the car you want to be able to do whatever you guys want and even gas in the jet. Why not? You can fly wherever the fuck you want and do like humanitarian shit, you know what I mean? Whenever you want. Your number one job is to really find the 1 in 20 people that are really going to match your vision, love what you guys do, love each one of you individually. Not like you can't bring someone on that loves him. It's like to you, it's got to be like, oh my God, guys, how do I work with you? Mm-hmm. And that's a difficult job because I really think it's like 1 in 20, maybe 1 in 10. You can't be like, hey, I know you, I kind of like you, you want to be, and then it doesn't work out, right?
Yeah.
You have to like interview 20 people and be like very particular about letting people into the team because it's like, this is serious. Mm-hmm. You don't like the Lakers organization doesn't just let anyone come into their organization, right? They're like, hey, let's try it out, you know, work as an intern, work your way up. Yeah. Hey, you're doing a great job. You know, we have an opening. Yeah. It's not like, hey, yeah, come over, which you tend to do when you're small because you want help. You need help. Yeah. But once you get to a certain point, you got to say, all right, now these are the requirements. Yeah. You can always change the requirements. And if people don't meet your requirements, you got to say, I love you, but it's not I don't expect you to do anything. These are the requirements. Sorry. Yeah. For this team. Like you can't be on the Lakers roster if you're not like Russell Westbrook. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Then we might trade for you because it's about the championship. Yeah. You try to make gold records, not okay records. Mm-hmm. And to do that, you need Kevin Hart level team. You're not going to make gold records by yourself. You need 10 people on that team. Mm-hmm. Believe that. lawyer, accountant, plumber, all of them.
And the wrong team could ruin it all for you too.
Dude, a bad accountant can ruin it. What the fuck? Where's all the damn money? Shit.
Yeah.
Never trust the accountant, man. I'm a recovering accountant. 20 plus years.
Wow.
I would audit accountants, so I know what goes on. But yeah, it's very important to have a good team. And once I realized that, that's when things really started like taking off. Even in corporate, to build departments, when I didn't do that, when I was a little more like, most people do hire a little bit on the resume too much. I would, when I got really seasoned, I would interview people like 3 times. I'd take them to lunch. And then I go, come in again and meet the team. Because I wanted to make sure the character and the attitude and philosophies really, not just, how you have a great resume.
Yeah.
Wow, you answered my typical, interview questions. I didn't have typical interview questions. I wanted to get to know the person to see if it's real. Yeah. And then when I did that, oh my God, my job was like 20% of the work when I had the right team in place. Yeah. So that's the other thing. And you could focus on bigger ideas.
Yeah, it's very important. I definitely wouldn't be this far along if I didn't meet him.
Yes.
I would have been probably still making songs in my bedroom, maybe a few features here and there, but I wouldn't have a whole EP that was engineered and mastered and being in studios in Hollywood. So it's like, yeah.
I kind of feel like that second person might be the key. Because if I think about it, Josh was my second person to get to the podcast. I kept wanting to do it for 5 years, like podcasts or on the street interviews or anything. But I hired assistants, but I have so much other stuff that we'd always get caught up in that and never. So finally, when I found the right second punch, it's like you need the 1-2 punch. Yeah. You need the Kobe Shaq. Yeah. You need the Jordan Pippen. You know what I mean? Like a great chef has a great operations person behind them. Yeah. Because otherwise they're just making up crazy ideas and no one's buying the ingredients. So like, dude, I just thought of how, but that second person can't just be anyone. Has to be like really strong because it takes so much to get over that hump. For you guys to have released your EP, I'm sure. I felt like we dragged this podcast across the finish line. That's how we talked about it. We were going to drag this motherfucker across the finish line.
Yeah. We actually did this EP in really fast. Maybe about 6 months. We had a song that we recorded earlier in the year, but once it kind of aligned in a very strange way. Like there's been a lot of like whoa moments where it's like, this is kind of the moment we've been waiting for in our lives. And we felt that together. It's kind of crazy. There was, one night where we were just kind of talking and texting before we were dating. And I wrote a song and I'm like, it was called In My Home. And I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to call my EP In My Home. He was like, whoa. He's like, I started a business back then and it's called Home. And I've always been thinking about, a record label. Yeah. And he's like, I've been thinking about this name for a while. Like, this is perfect. And it was just kind of like, I never knew that story about him either. And I was like, wow. And we've had tons of moments like that where you just kind of know that you're with the right person and working with the right people.
Remember Constellation Farms? Their tagline, this teaching farm we just met that we were all blown away by their story. They're going to be like helping special needs adults like on this teaching farm. They bought an acre of land finally, or a couple acres, but their tagline was finding your home. Because they're like, all these special needs kids get aged out and then, they're not in school anymore. Yeah. So they kind of don't really, their families can't really take care of them. They're at work, they're busy. Yeah. So it's like their whole thing was finding a home. So it's just interesting how that keeps coming up too.
I mean, home is...
And how people today really are lost.
It has a lot of meaning. And
they're lost, man.
I did...
Separated, lost, confused, following anything that anyone can divert somebody with unlimited content behind it. Hey, birds aren't real. I'm not saying they are, but they probably are. I'm just saying there's a lot of people that believe they're not real because there's like a whole series of videos you can watch that make you think that. Yeah. And I'm just saying, like, just today in general, like people are so separated and physically, especially after the pandemic, and not like chasing money. And when you chase money, you often don't end up doing what you love. Yeah. It's trying to shortcut the game, but the game don't fuck around. Yeah. it's just the game. It's in the algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
You need to realize. I try to shortcut it too.
Mm-hmm.
With businesses like, oh, I'm going to leave corporate and do Amazon.
Yeah.
Why? Because, oh, this guy's making like 200 grand selling Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he loved that shit, making the deal. I don't want to do that.
I mean, that's the way society is, though.
Right.
Like you go to you go to school, you go to college, then you get the 9 to 5 and you're good. You know, like you get the money. You're
If
good.
that's what you like.
Yeah.
There's
but that's
accountants
kind of what
that
they
love
teach
accounting.
you.
Right.
If you don't find your own passion on your own, then
School cannot be responsible at this time, unfortunately, for your happiness. They don't teach you emotional intelligence. I don't know what the fuck that was.
Yeah.
Where was like health class teaching me emotional intelligence or how to be in a relationship? Not in a way where I would laugh about it and giggle with my friends, because that's how they teach. They don't relate to you in a real way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's school system's archaic. It's just based on academic, drivers, test taking, standardization versus custom teaching. Like, I think we can get to it. Like, I think LeBron's schools are like that, but we should get to where the algorithm in your computer just tracks the shit you like. Oh, this student keeps doing the musical, part of the lecture. Let's get them let's try piano. And then the computer's like tracking your shit where it's like, oh, this guy really likes photography or this woman likes this, or instead of like a one size fits all. And then you just kind of go, I'm going to be a lawyer because they make a lot of money.
Yeah. And you hate it.
That's a dumb reason to do it. And then you're going to be one of those lawyers that want to kill themselves. Unfortunately, I'm not kidding. People think, no, it's fine. It's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
He's doing that shit 12 hours a day just to make $100K. Because he hates it and everyone knows it. So he's like a miserable lawyer.
Yeah.
He's making $100K, big deal. You could be like a reasonable artist, make that money. I mean,
yeah. You just have to try. I would have so many regrets if I just because even before the lockdown, before I got laid off of my other job, they were offering me full-time benefits, great pay, but I didn't want to sit at a desk all day.
Right.
So I'm grateful that the lockdown happened, because I probably, knowing all the pressure that I had from my family and all that, I probably would have stayed there if 2020 didn't happen. So, and I probably wouldn't be an artist doing music. And I could say that, like, it happened in my favor. Yeah.
I love it. So what are some of the other whoa moments that you had? Just curious. Like, tell us about this album. Like, what are the songs? Can you talk about the songs?
Yeah.
Can you talk about what they meant?
Yeah.
Like, does it relate to, turning points in your life? Like, tell us about the music.
So the whole concept of In My Home is talking about in my heart. So my heart is my home. The main song is like, there's a home inside my heart, a place where you can't move. I'll share with who I want. But no man like you is welcome in my home. So it was kind of a time for me where I was starting to, go on relationships and stuff. I'm a kind of a late bloomer when it comes to, dating and all that. I was very sheltered, I'd say, till I was.
What way?
My parents. I mean, I grew up Christian, and no dating. You gotta till you're married.
Paint the picture. You're protective of your family. I know.
Yeah, I'm protective of my family.
So
they're
whatever
protective
you
of
can paint,
me.
just because other people are in the same situation, without you don't have to speak badly.
Yeah.
My parents made a lot of fucking mistakes.
Yeah.
And so did I.
Yeah.
I'm still learning. I have 4 kids.
Yeah.
I'm a totally different parent than I was 10 years ago. So like, I know it's not a judgment. It's just for other parents to go, like, I used to spank my kids. Now I don't. I'm not judging. That would be judging myself. I didn't know any better. I thought that was good parenting.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, well, I could do it a different way with like a lot of creativity.
Yeah.
Where I go like, is that what you want? Like, if you're going to talk to me like that, then I'm not going to want to play with you.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, fine. And I go, okay. And then 5 minutes later, he's like, Daddy. So he learned on his own without forcing it. But I learned that. So it's not a judgment on my parents. They didn't know any better.
Yeah.
They were whipping me like they were being whipped. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But was that the best for my confidence and self-esteem? It took me a while to get around it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It hindered me. I love that word because it's the truth. But I'm not saying it as a victim, like poor me. I'm saying understand it. No, it's nothing personal. Forgive, because no one's doing anything personal. They're just doing the best they can.
Right.
They've got fucked up ideas. They
Yeah.
had abuse in their life. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they just don't know. But it's about, but understand it so you don't have to repeat it. Think, is that best for me and my relationship with my kids? No,
Mm-hmm.
it's not.
Yeah.
You can have a very close relationship with your kids. It's not going to come from spanking.
Right.
It's going to come from really trying to connect with them. Being a leader, though, like, hey, you're making some bad decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Being real with them and going, you're going to have to listen to me right now.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're ready, I'll give you freedom. That's how it
Yeah.
was. Like, you know, instead of hindering you, because it's your life.
Right.
Just because you're 5, you were already this person, just a little version of it.
Mm-hmm.
I look at I have a 3-year-old about to turn 3. I'm really paying attention to whatever he likes.
Mm-hmm.
If he starts playing with those piano keys, like we have a little electric keyboard, just in case we're seeing what he likes. He's really into Marvel. So I'm like, dude, you want to train like a Marvel hero? Let's start. Want to go to gymnastics soon?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah, I want to do tumbling like Spider-Man. I'm like, all right. That's how he goes to daycare. I go, that's where Spider-Man and Iron Man went when they were growing up, like to train. So just lean into who they are. They're just little versions. The quicker you can get them to their passions, like the faster they'll have their life figured out.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
you learned that over time, right? Because you didn't probably do that with the first kids.
No.
Yeah.
3 mistakes. I'm just kidding. 3 like where they had to learn and see me evolve. They go, wow, Dad, you changed a lot.
Yeah.
I'm still not perfect. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
Just way better.
Mhm.
Like from a 2 to an 8
wow.
in terms of emotional intelligence with 2 more levels to go.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's good to hear, though. That's a long way.
Long way.
Yeah.
I got my own problems. Believe me. Everyone over to my right here knows that. No, they're not bad. I'm just being honest. Like it's something I even like openly say like, oh, I should be more like, I want to be, you know, as effective as I can be. So there's always room for improvement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's the way to look at it.
Is there any water around, by the way? I'm
Absolutely
starting to get a little.
This is a
hot
fresh
flashy.
water. Do you want to? I'm serious because she brought 2.
That's a fresh one.
Oh,
There's
there
an
we go.
ice cold one over there.
We got
though.
water right there.
Thank you.
We just keep rolling.
Yeah. An hour.
We're at an hour. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do my
Absolutely.
EP real quick.
Yeah, I really think the music is a good like way to understand you too, and feel free to like tangent into whatever you want. But I'd love to like understand because the music is probably the most profound expression of yourself that
Right. It's what keeps me sane.
yeah.
Yeah. So the EP In My Home, like I was saying, is in my heart. And I wrote it during a time where I was kind of discovering a lot of going into womanhood. So I came out of a really horrible relationship. And that's kind of what the whole concept In My Home is like. You're not welcome in my home. I share with who I want. And there's other songs in there too. Push pull, it's the same way of like when you want someone around, but you know they're not good for you. So you push them away, but then you pull them back.
What can you share about the relationship? Like what was bad
I think for me, like, you know, I never really like to go and talk about other people.
Sure.
But for me, I was being selfish, I'd say, and I was kind of being in denial and choosing to be in denial because I just didn't want to know the truth about anything. I just was like, it is what it is and we're fine and everything's good. And it wasn't even a person that I really liked. I didn't love this person, you know. I was just with them because I felt like it was kind of fulfilling a void in myself. I only ever had one relationship before that, and it was a pretty serious one all throughout college. So leaving that was really hard. There. Right. Yeah. And that's all I knew.
We're scared.
Right.
You don't want to be alone in this life.
Mm-hmm.
It's very powerful to have a great partner.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in our gut, we know that because it's a survival instinct. Like if you have a strong partner, if you get sick, you're more likely to survive. Like in our instinctual, like primal brain.
Yeah.
So it's like a strong desire. So when you're with somebody that kind of works, I was afraid to lose that. It's why I got married the first time. Just saying, like probably her too. We knew deep down there was like things missing in our connection, but we just didn't want to lose each other. And I knew it's like either, you know, get married or move on. And I was afraid because you don't want to be alone.
Yeah.
But that's not good.
It's not good.
No.
And it's important to know that too. And I didn't really know that at the time.
Because you're hurting the other person too, because then they're not fulfilled. It's a 2-way street. I think.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. But I feel like my situation was a little bit different where he maybe didn't care about me so much. He was young. He was, my age and early 20s. Like he just wanted to go around and be with everybody, every girl. So I don't think for me, he was thinking in that sense of like he didn't want to lose me or nothing. I don't know. Maybe he was. I could be totally wrong.
He had something like consistent.
Right.
And like
okay.
a home, better than nothing, like an anchor in his life, even though he might be, satelliting to other locations.
Oh yeah,
right,
all the time.
But I think no matter how someone is, they always have the need to have that like anchor.
Yeah,
that's why people do what they do sometimes because it's they still have that need.
Yeah,
just because they're not ready to settle down.
Right. And
someone
I wasn't
to be
either.
there for them. Like you were there for him. Like same thing. Instinctually, it's like, well, if she's going to be there for me, why should I not have it?
Yeah.
So he's probably being selfish too, not giving you what you want.
Yeah.
Like
and
said,
we were childhood friends. It was literally the most immature relationship you could ever think of. It's not even really worth like going over and being upset about for me. And so that's why creating that EP around, this whole idea was really, really relieving for me. Because now I'm just like, I don't have any attachment to that. I don't even, it doesn't hurt me. It doesn't affect me anymore because I got it all out.
The next chapter, basically. It's like your EP is the beginning of this story.
Beginning of me being myself, like fully, like not being in denial of myself, not being like afraid of thinking I'm doing the wrong thing. I still have these fears, obviously, but so it's way less than it used to be. Yeah, you just push through now.
I love that.
Yeah.
So any particular songs are your like kind of your favorite babies?
In My Home. I mean, it's a self-titled EP. That's the one that kind of made me realize a lot about why I'm doing this too and what the whole EP is about. I Know is the lead single, and that one that's the one where I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to do music again. This is during the lockdown. So that one has a place in my heart as well. Push Pull was a great one because I went to a writing camp and I met this producer from Italy at the writing camp. And then he wrote me, he said, hey, can you sing to this? I was like, yeah. And, it was cool to kind of work with someone in a whole nother country doing the same hustle as me. So yeah, I mean, all the songs, honestly, I have a strong love for. And No Apologies, I'd say, was the one where I really pushed my voice to sing. And I'm not comfortable with my voice as much as I mentioned. I'm more of a writer, but yeah, I don't know.
Thus the No Apologies.
Yeah. No Apologies. That one's kind of like, you don't want any trouble with anybody. Like we just want to be existing with each other because we love each other. We like each other. And we just don't want no apologies. Like, don't say sorry for nothing. Like, I know we both make mistakes and we screw up, but like, just be with me, lay with me. No apologies,
Oh, man. I love that. So tell me each song title and what it means to you, even the ones you haven't talked about. Just because I think, can I just say real quick to give you context? Like, I really enjoy concerts where the singer, especially if it's a singer-songwriter, talks about their life, their music, connects with me. And the old bands wouldn't really do that. Some would perform the hell out of it, and that's great too. Some would just stand there and sing the song, which is not that interesting to me. But then you got like, what's her name? Can't remember. I'll remember her name in a minute, but that basically talks like half the concert. Talks about her, what each song means, where she was when she wrote it, why she wrote it. And I just think it's so powerful. And that's why people travel around the world
to share their message.
Yeah. Adele.
Oh, okay.
Like I went to a concert not expecting it. I'm not like an Adele fanatic, but I like her music, but just had tickets. And I was like, wow, I've never been to a concert where the singer talked more, like half the time, which
I didn't know that about her.
I loved. She's talking to the audience. Hey, I remember you. You guys were in Germany, and she's so free and easygoing. Like you're really having a conversation with her. And I'm just saying, it's so powerful, and no one does it. So, like, I think people if they're still listening to the podcast by now, which is an hour deep.
Yeah.
Which
Thank you for listening.
There are some,
Yeah.
I'm sure, and that's great.
Yeah.
They're gonna connect to the song, like hearing what you thought of it and why you made it and how you named it. Just makes me want to go download it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Please download it.
And see what I think. What does she mean by this and that?
Yeah. Well, I'll go down the list.
Yeah.
So I mentioned all of them, most of them, pretty much.
How many songs total?
6. Well,
6. All right. So you
six. There's an interlude. It's shorter, but it's still a song. So I Know is the first one. And that one I kind of improvised. And I was doing a more freestyle rap. So it was kind of like stepping out of my comfort zone as an artist with that one. And I loved it. And the moment I heard it, I'm like, I got to do something with this. So I made that the lead single. And that's just kind of, talking about like being more dominant in what I want. It's like, I know what you need, let me do it.
Being more dominant in what you want.
Yeah. I think
assertive.
Assertive. Like I think as women, we kind of sit back and like, oh no, we're good. Like, but that song's just kind of like, no, I know what I want.
Right.
Hot for You. That's kind of the same, like just showing like, I really like somebody and I have no shame in saying that. Like I'm hot for you. Come be with me. More of the sexier type of song in the EP.
Now, does that apply to men and women? That advice?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because men are nervous at this time.
Yeah.
They're afraid to tell women what they think.
Yeah.
And I don't think that should be the case. And I tell them like, no, man, it's about respect. It's okay to compliment somebody and say, hey, you look great. Wow, I love your hair. Wow, you have such a bright smile, or blah, blah, whatever it is. It doesn't mean you have to like grab and touch or aggressively pursue. I think they're mixing it up, like where they're like, oh, you can't tell a woman she looks nice. Like, but you should be able to, I think, in a nice way without the crazy look in your eye. You know what I'm saying? Like if you say it like, you look hot.
Well, I think women, we have a lot of trauma when it comes to just random guys coming up to us because we're like, well, what do you want? Like if you say, you look really good, it's like, oh, thank you. But then they start talking more. It's like, okay, I'm going to go now. Like we don't know like we don't even know how to feel about certain men, And I think that's just like the way society's kind of created itself.
I know.
Yeah.
We're
which is
ruining it
unfortunate
for ourselves.
Yeah.
I totally get it. Like it's coming from behavior that is being seen, like with whatever, the dick pics and all that kind of behavior, which
like we're trying to be safe.
Can I just tell you a funny story?
Yes, please.
Just to explain the content. I swear to God, like I was having a conversation with like 3 adult men. This is a few years ago. And I was like, I get why. In some ways, I'm jealous that people can do it. Like, damn, like it's kind of your confidence. Because what if it gets out there? Like, you just send your dick pic to someone, right? And they would not believe me that I've never done it. I'm like, why would I do that? I don't.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, man. You fucking sent it. I'm like, and at the end of the conversation, I said, oh, well, whatever. I just didn't want to. They just wouldn't believe me. I just had to let it go. Which means we live in a society where, and I don't judge that, especially if it's for your, someone that wants it. If somebody wants the dick pic, that's okay. I'm talking about random. They're talking about randomly just some girl you met.
Oh, no.
And I'm like,
hell
it's
no.
just not everyone's style, guys. Oh, shut the fuck up. You've never sent. No, I haven't. Yeah. So my point is like,
girls don't like it. We don't like it.
That.
No, don't do it. Don't randomly send a dick pic to a girl you're not really close with. It never works.
Hold out.
It's like creepy.
It's like pulling too hard on the fish. Like wait till like take it easy. Yeah. What's your name? How's it going? How's your day?
Yeah.
How's your day first? But the point is like that's like, it's creating women to react to like guys that are being respectful. And the ones that are trying to be respectful are afraid to like express themselves.
Yeah.
But if you like somebody and you really genuinely like them, I think it's totally good to say, hey, like, I really like this about you.
Yeah.
And be communicative. And then the person should say, wow, thank you. That's amazing. And thanks for sharing and risking me saying ew.
You. And then you could be like, maybe you can send me a dick pic now.
Right. That's when you click send.
Yes.
Maybe. Because then it's still out there.
Yeah.
And it may not go well. And then she's got to picture of you you may not want out there. Right?
Yeah,
With a screenshot.
Yeah. I definitely think it's a weird facade divide that we're creating. Even just with social media, it's like these girls are like looking perfect and these guys
Right.
are, you know, like think like, why does she look so perfect? Like maybe I can't talk to her. And then these girls act like they're too good for all these men
Right.
out there. And then men just like, I'm not going to talk to no girl then. It's just like, it's a lot,
Well,
I think.
My theory, and tell me what you think, when a woman or man talks down to you or acts like, excuse me, or what, guy or woman, I'm not gender, anybody that does that, it's an insecurity. And like, you should know, even if they're gorgeous, that's an insecurity. Because if they felt really confident in themselves and their ability to have friendships and keep friendships and then they, instead of like right away letting you know, hey, I'm the shit, fuck are you doing talking to me? They'd be like, oh, hi, how are you? Because the really amazing models out there like are super nice, a lot of them were. So it's not like a requirement to be like, excuse me.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, no.
So I just want people to know that are afraid to approach someone. If you approach someone and they talk to you like that and you're being respectful,
Yeah.
don't try not to let it hit you in the heart
Yeah.
or in the gut. Go
Yeah.
like, that person is very insecure
Yeah.
and needs to let me know right away, even though I'm vulnerably going, excuse me.
Right.
Just thought I'd say hi. Fuck are you looking at me? You know, like
Yeah.
I came vulnerable and she just chopped my head off, or he. That's like, okay, this person is like insecure and needs to like validate their value to me by letting me know that they're way above me because of how they look.
That's really good advice. Yeah.
It's the truth. It's hard to wrap your head around and really like live that way.
Yeah.
But like for anything, a business opportunity, let's say you admire a CEO, reach out to them. Nobody does it. They'd be like, wow, somebody actually reached out and asked me for lunch.
Yeah.
You know
I
what
mean,
I'm
you
saying?
really don't know till you try.
Are there any, like, what's the best advice you can give people out there, would you say? If anything, that we haven't covered.
You're always going to be scared, so just do it anyways.
Love it.
Yeah.
Very key. Very key. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Like,
Thank
this was
you.
awesome.
Yeah,
What's
this
the
was
next steps for you? Like, what, like you released an EP. So what's next? What's coming up?
Hopefully a single very soon and a music video. And
Do you know what the
just-
single is or no? Not yet.
I have a really strong idea. Yeah.
But not publicly putting it out there yet.
Not yet.
Got it.
Yeah, very
All
soon.
right. We will look for that. And then where do we follow you to like keep up with your journey?
You can follow me at Naomi Cheyanne on Instagram, at Naomi Cheyanne Music, or at Naomi Cheyanne on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, TikTok. It's all the same, Naomi Cheyanne. Website. www.naomicheyanne.com.
No, really, because like I definitely am going to be following, and you're more than welcome, guys, to come on anytime you want.
Thank you.
And if there's like something you're like, you know what, I wish I talked about, like let's make it happen.
Yeah.
We can even do like a 30-minute session, a 1 hour session.
Yeah.
And I can, we kind of were trying to keep it at an hour and a half. I think that's like a good, plus, leave them wanting more a little bit. Because I think as you put out new music, you're evolving, you're going to have like other things that happen to you where you're going to be like, holy shit, this happened to us. And we're like,
more
now
stories
we
to
know
share.
Where we're going. And you can share that.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you. We'd love to.
Excellent. Naomi. All right. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Peace.
Knock him out the box, Rick. Knock him out, Rick. Knock him out the box.